Whether you're moving across town or across the country, these tips are going to save you time, stress, and space. So let's start packing. I also highly recommend saving boxes and bubble wrap leading up to the move. For example, I placed a bubble wrap on the bottom of a box, then a plate with oven pads between the plates, and then some more bubble wrap on top. But if you run short or have limited space, get creative. For some of the glasses, I used a towel to wrap a glass, placed another glass in one of the oven mitts, and used another towel for the other glass in a box. And instead of using all boxes, we used things we already had, like laundry baskets, and we placed the pots and pans in the bottom of the laundry basket. Another one of our favorite items is to use vacuum seal bags to condense bulky items. Simply place the items into the bag, push out as much air as possible, ziplock it closed, and use a pump or a vacuum cleaner to suck all of the air out. This is a huge space saver, and we were able to add these with the pots and pans to the laundry basket. Next came sorting. I like to keep it simple with 3 categories: keep, donate, or leave it. Pay it forward. The last one is for useful items someone else might love, but we didn't have room for. When we had everything we thought we needed ready, we started staging it into the packing zone. This will help us be more efficient when we move it all into the car. We'll know exactly where to put everything. Once we had everything packed, I couldn't believe how full the car was, but it all fit, thanks to planning ahead. Now let's talk about the cleaning hacks I used before we left. For a quick microwave refresh, I mixed lime juice and vinegar and water in a bowl, and I microwaved it for a couple of minutes and let the steam loosen everything. I wiped it out, and it was done. Instead of pulling out a million products, I filled one sink with warm water and a little antibacterial soap. With just one sink, I was able to wipe down the counters, the cabinets, the outside of the appliances, even the refrigerator and freezer inside and out. One and done. If you want your stainless steel to shine, take a little avocado oil on a microfiber cloth and rub with the grain. It'll make it streak-free and shine. So that's it. My go-to moving and cleaning hacks that saved us time and kept everything super simple and stress-free.
Your home isn't the only place that needs a good spring clean and organization sesh, and it's somewhere you probably spend a lot of time. To get started, I headed to the Dollar Tree for some supplies. The first project I wanted to do was to deodorize and vacuum out my car. I took an Old Spice shaker and filled it with some baking soda that's easily found at the Dollar Tree and other similar stores. Then I added about 50 drops of my 2 favorite essential oils, which are orange and lavender, and shook the container to incorporate them. I sprinkled the baking soda mixture on the carpet in my car and allowed it to sit for about 30 minutes. Then I vacuumed up all the baking soda, dirt, and debris for a clean and great smelling interior. The trunk of my car always gets really disorganized, so the first step in tackling that project was to take the container with the lid, and that was the perfect place to store my ugly jumper cables. The flexible bins worked great for storing my reusable grocery bags and my kids' soccer things. Now the trunk is organized and the space is really optimized. I always like to make sure that my car is stocked with essentials like a first aid kit, over-the-counter pain medication, hand cream, chapstick, and more. And these mesh laundry bags come in handy. There's plenty of room for all of the essentials. They zip up really nicely, and I was able to fold it so it fit perfectly in my glove box. For a natural air freshener, I used some wooden clothespins and added some orange essential oil to the pins, then clipped them to the air vents, and it filled my car with a nice orange scent. I used this plastic organizer that has different compartments to store loose change and some other loose items like hair rubber bands. I then stored that container in the door of my car for easy access. Moving to the back seat, I installed this over-the-seat organizer to hold my kids' books, water bottles, sunglasses, snacks, and any of the other things that are usually scattered across the back seat. To continue keeping the back seat clutter and trash free, I hot glued some Velcro to the bottom of this blue bin and placed it in between my kids' car seats on the top of the seat protector that I made. Now they can throw their trash in there, and it's also super cute.
Do you ever get frustrated like I do going to the store? You just run out of trunk space. Well, I got a solution. I'm going to measure the width of the trunk, and I'm also going to measure the height and the depth. First thing I'm going to do is grab a piece of scrap plywood that I got. This is perfect. It's 3/4 inches. It's going to work out great, nice and strong. I'm going to measure across 36 inches, which is the same width of my trunk, and I'm going to use a straight edge to make a line across there. I'm also on the line going to measure the depth, and I'm going to put a mark there also, and another line straight across. Using my skill saw, I'm going to cut it all the way across, and I'm going to have my board ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and take this and cut off the last bit of it to make sure that it's 36 inches wide. Now I need 4 legs, and each of these need to be 15 inches. So I'm just going to take a regular piece of 2x4 and cut all 4 legs out. I'm going to sand the edges, get rid of all those splinters, and then I'm going to grab some 2.5-inch hinges. These packages are great. They come 2 inside each one, so I just need 2 packages, and they come with all the screws. I'm also going to pre-drill all the holes and put those in. I pre-drill because I don't want to split the end of the board when I put the screws in. Once I do that, I'm going to come in on all 4 corners of my plywood, and again, pre-drill, get all those done, put the board back on, and hinge it on there with the screws. And look at that, that's exactly what I want. I'm going to do all 4 corners. As you can see, they all flip down. That's another key to this. I'm going to flip it back over, lay it on its back, and what I'm going to do is grab some of this cheap mat that I got, and I'm going to cut it to size, but I'm going to cut it with a few inches over on each side. Flip that over, turn it upside down, and then put my shelf that's going to be upside down on it also. And I'm going to take a stapler with some good staples on it. I'm just going to flip that extra inches or 2 that I have and staple those down all the way around. Now when I get to the corners, that corner is going to bunch up too much, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off, and then it'll flip over and it won't be too thick, and again, staple those. Now, the one thing I've got to make sure of is when I get to the legs, I want to make sure that I cut that excess off so that when the legs flip up, they're straight on the plywood and they're not bunched up. See, just like that. Next step, I'm going to take it to the trunk and I'm going to put it in place and make sure it works. Pop it up, make sure the legs are straight, and look at all this. I can put all my groceries in there, everything, and not worried about anything getting crushed because now I've got extra room. Watch this. I can go ahead and put anything I need on that top shelf. Another great thing about it is it's going to keep it hidden. Keeps the sun off it during the summer and any peeping eyes that might look in the back of my trunk. And when I'm not in use, I can just flip those legs back up and it sits flat right inside my trunk. This thing was so easy to make out of a 2x4, some hinges, and it just gives me all that extra trunk space that I need. I hope you like this easy and simple traveling trunk hack as much as I did. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.